We've all heard the saying that teamwork makes the dream work, and it's true. So, today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of making sure that your team is the dream team so that your flip doesn't turn into a flop. Stick around. Listen, being a real estate investor is not a solo venture. You absolutely have to have a team. And I'm going to be sharing with you some key players that you need to make sure is on your team. Starting out with a realtor. You definitely want to make sure that you are working with a realtor that is investor friendly. And the reason why I emphasize investor friendly is because investors' purposes and purchases are different from a typical buyer. We are not looking for property for our primary residence. We are looking for property to renovate and to sell. So our price point, our neighborhood, the condition of the home is going to be different. And so our realtor needs to be aware of that so that they can help us find the best deal that's out there. They also provide good information as it relates to comps, information as it relates to how that neighborhood is. Is it a good neighborhood? They can give you the statistics about the schools, about what's going on with regards to jobs, traffic that's driving in that area, as well as how the market is doing in a particular area. They also have access to the MLS, the multi listing service database, right? That I don't have access to because I am not a licensed realtor. So if you're a licensed realtor, then you can go ahead and check that off your box because you're 10 steps ahead of the game. But for those who are like me that do not have a license, I highly encourage you to work with a realtor who is investor friendly because they have a wealth of knowledge and they can help you as you run your numbers, figure out comps, and determine if this is an actual neighborhood or area that you want to invest in. Secondly, I recommend that you have a great relationship and find you a really good accountant or tax professional. Listen, when we are flipping these houses and headed to the bank to cash these checks, we are happy about it. But make no mistake, you are still responsible for your obligations of paying taxes. And so I highly encourage you to have an accountant or a tax professional who is knowledgeable with real estate investing as well as the tax and legal obligations so that you are not left in a jam at the end of the year or 2, 3 years later because I don't need anyone knocking on my door telling me that I owe them money. So get yourself an accountant or a tax professional to ensure that you are paying your taxes and paying it on time. Third, I would say have a good relationship with an attorney. We have found an attorney that we work with on all of our transactions, which is really helpful to us because they are now familiar with us, they're familiar with our business, and they're familiar with the types of transactions that we do, which makes the process a whole lot easier. There's no hoops and loops and mountains that we have to climb because they've worked with us on a continuous basis. So I recommend finding an attorney and an attorney's office that you can work with on a regular basis, build a rapport with, so that when it's time to close on your deals, the transaction and process is seamless. Number four, a lender. If you are like me and using other people's money, you definitely want to have a great rapport with a lender because listen, when it's time to put in that offer, you do not have time to go searching and looking for someone to loan you money. You want to already have that relationship established so that once you run the numbers, you are ready to make that phone call and the paperwork can go ahead and get started and they can go ahead and try to get you to the closing table as quickly as possible. So I highly encourage you to shop around and find some good lenders that you can trust, that you can rely on, that's going to give you the best deal possible so that you can get to the closing table as quickly as possible. Now, I left the best one for last because listen, everyone that I've mentioned so far, every professional that I've mentioned so far is extremely important because they all play a vital role in the transaction of your deal, whether it's on the front end or the back end. They play a role, right? And their involvement can directly relate to how quickly or how slowly your process is as it relates to acquiring this house, right? This property and starting on this project. But let me tell you, lastly, you want to make sure that you not only have a general contractor, but you have a good general contractor. I promise you, this will make or break your project. So it is extremely important that you do your due diligence when you're interviewing, when you're vetting out, when you're seeking out a general contract for your property, because this can determine if you are going to cash a check or write a check. And when I say write a check, meaning are you going to be owing money because your project has essentially turned into a flop? General contractors play a crucial role in your project. So, a few things that you want to look out for when you are hiring a general contractor. Number one, you want to make sure that your general contractor is licensed. Okay? They have to be licensed. There's no way around it. You don't have a license, you can't work with me. So here's the reason why. Number one, depending on what it is that you're deciding to do to the house, whether you're tearing down walls, reconfiguring the layout, adding rooms, adding square footage, that all plays a part. You're changing aspects of the home, which now requires a permit. And in order to obtain a permit from the city or the county, your general contractor has to have a license. You don't have a license, you don't get a permit. Okay? Also, depending on what state you're in, certain states have pricing thresholds, meaning if you are spending over a certain amount of dollars to renovate a home, you have to file for a permit. Your GC has to be licensed. Again, no license, no permit, and they will shut you down. They'll shut you down. Your project will be shut down until you are able to meet those requirements. So you want to make sure that your general contractor has a license. Two, you want to make sure that your general contractor has a team, a full team that can accommodate the renovations of your project. Okay? I'm not talking about a general contractor that work with this person and this person might show up today and that person might show up tomorrow. I'm talking about a real team, because the general contractor plays as the on-site manager, making sure that the work is getting done. The actual team is actually who's doing the work. You need to make sure that all hands are on deck on your property, on your project at all times. Otherwise, this could severely jeopardize the scheduling of your project. Also, you want to make sure that your general contractor sticks to the schedule and sticks to the budget. Okay? These are all going to play a crucial role in determining the success of your project or the flop of your project. So I cannot emphasize how important it is to make sure that you are working with a really good general contractor. You may have to interview several before you actually can pick one or select one that meets your liking, that fits your criteria. But it is super important. Do not rush it trying to get started and you end up working with someone that you regret. I have worked with a general contractor that I have regretted. I've had to fire a general contractor in the middle of the project. Actually, that's not even true. We were towards the end of the project and I had to fire him because it felt like we were still in the middle of the project. Okay? they can delay your schedule tremendously, and it could really hurt you in the projection of your profits and the projection of your exit plan. So a general contractor, if you did not hear anything else I said about the other 5 people that I listed, write down general contractor, highlight it, underline it, put it in bold print. Make sure that your general contractor is on point. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. Like, comment below, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.